Hunter x Hunter, episode 104 review, let's go! So with this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter, the king still hasn't defeated this girl yet, and he's even skipping out on meals to face this girl in this game. The king thought, well, I found out a new tactic. I found out a new tactic in this game. It's not rulebooks or anything like that, so it's a new move and everything, so I don't think she can be able to counter this. Wrong! The girl actually created the technique that the king was using, and she already figured out how to counter it a long time ago. And we get that whole explanation on how she found out this technique and how she countered it and everything like that, because the king was wondering, how did you freaking counter this technique and defeat me? And so after the whole explanation, I don't know, it seems like maybe it moved him a little bit or something, but he actually listened to the entire explanation of what this girl said, and so he ends up leaving, letting her go to sleep or get some rest. But the next time they play, there will be no more breaks. It's kind of funny, you know. She may not be having no more breaks, but she's still the master of gunnery. Break. Master. He's right there. Oh! And we also kind of find out at the end of this episode that the king apparently, even though he's losing, he's enjoying himself while playing this game with this girl. I really want to know what this girl's name is. I really hope that the king at some point will ask, what is your name, basically, so we can get her name for this girl. I hate that I have to say girl or something, because I don't really know her. I don't know her name yet. They haven't said it yet, so I want to know what her name is. But I like this girl. I like these matches. I don't know what they're doing in this game, because it's confusing. I don't know. It's really confusing, but it's intense, and it's fun to watch and stuff. So I like this, though. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. And I see how the king is changing. So basically, again, I think you might have some respect for this girl. He's not going to just kill her off, even if at some point in time the king will win. I don't think he'll just kill her off like that. Maybe they'll still end up playing, because it's like still not like a, you know, once he wins, like, I am the best ever or something. I don't know. We'll let the see. I just believe that girl will survive all this whole you know, game thing after she gets defeated at some point. And so the other things that happen in this episode, we find out what Noel's ability really is, and basically, like we thought, it's a dimensional ability where he can teleport himself to a different area, basically, through this hole. He has to touch something in order to go through it, and then he can go into his pocket dimension, where it's like this little white area, and it spans to like 20 rooms, and it's like has 4 floors, so it's like really, really big, like in width and height. So it's very interesting. Some rooms a little bit smaller than others. And basically, he can go through those little rooms and stuff, and he can go through another spot in a different area. So it's very interesting, and how big the space and the span is of his ability. It's actually pretty impressive. And so we see Noel, he ends up encountering that flying surveillance guy, and he ends up defeating him. And once defeating him, he ends up running into Morale, because Morale ends up beating Chitu. How he beat Chitu is that even though he was just sitting there chilling like a villain, he actually was planning this whole thing out, and I guess his ability took a while to try to get to him, because that's why it took so much time. Like, it's gonna take about 5 hours, but it actually only took 4 hours to do what he had to do. Basically, what he did was use his smoke, and he like had it around him. It's like spun all around that area where Chitu wouldn't notice that it would grab his foot. It's very interesting. I like the little strategy that he put on him right there. And the thing is, Chitu didn't even notice it. And so when he got up and Chitu was like, "What was going on?" He's like, "Well, I already got you, son. It's already over. All I gotta do is just swing this thing back around, like, you know, tie it up, and you're all done. I'm about to tag, and it's all over." And so Chitu is like panicking right now, like panicking hard. He panics so hard that he ends up learning a new ability through all this desperation. His new ability is basically like a crossbow and like these claws and stuff. And the crossbow it's not that fast, and you know, Morale can actually block those crossbow shots. And he's like, "Why are you using that ability? Like, usually you're way faster than this, so why would you even use that crossbow? Like, what's the point in that? If you use those claws, on the other hand, actually, you could actually do something to me." And so he ends up basically listening to Morale, and Chitu goes up in there and tries to attack Morale up close. Fails to do so, because the thing here is, Morale also planted a smoke clone. It's like he was planning everything ahead in time. Like, that's what I'm talking about. He even told Chitu that you're stupid. That's why you got caught and everything. And so he ends up tagging Chitu and actually getting out of his ability, but Chitu ends up running away, saying that Shalapoof will give him another ability once he goes back over there, and he'll come back and try to fight him again. So I find that interesting. I like the fact that, you know, how Morale kind of like planned this whole thing out. So that's exactly what he was doing. I was wondering what he was going to do, so I thought it was just simply that he wanted to get Chitu angry enough for him to come over there close enough for him to tag him. That's what I thought it was, but no, it was actually much more complicated than that. And of course it should be, because this is freaking Hunter x Hunter. And the other thing that we also learned in this ability, we end up learning what Leo's ability is. And Leo's ability is also very interesting as well. Basically what Leo's ability is that he can actually basically take anyone's ability and use it for his own. How he does this is that he has his iPod, And the thing is, he has two conditions in which he can get your ability. One, he needs to know what your ability is, or know the name of your ability. The second condition is that he needs to grant a favor to you, and once you agree to this favor, that's when he actually ends up getting the ability, and then he can then use the ability. And he can get more than one ability. He can do this a lot of times with other nin users, and he can end up putting all these abilities stored within his iPod. The downside to his ability, though, is that if any person dies with the ability that he got with that granted the favor, if that person dies, that ability goes way off his iPod. And basically, that's all there is in this episode. So, like I said, this was nice, though. I like that we got a lot of explanation to a lot of people's power, especially Leo. Like, Leo's the most interesting to me because he can basically get anyone's ability. He can get anyone's ability and use it. That's why he wants to get to the king and try to get the king to give him a favor so he can, then have the king's ability. So that's what his plan is this entire time. So I like that. Like I said, a lot of explanation, a lot of power that we get to learn, a good amount of exposition, and things are moving along when it comes to the progress of this chapter. Of this episode as well. So like, this was a really good episode. This is actually a really good episode. I look forward to seeing what is going to happen next. Because next episode, it seems like the king actually, poked the girl in the neck. The king is like, maybe I'm done playing freaking gun with you. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's very interesting. So I'm just very curious to see what the next episode is. I can't wait, honestly, because I want to know what's gonna happen. I really hope the girl ain't dead, because I don't believe he's gonna kill her. Again, I really don't believe he's going to kill this girl. But yeah, so I wonder what freaking Morale and Noel's moves is gonna be next. Not to mention Morale actually ended up saying that Gonna Kill his moves to try to stop the selection was actually a good thing, because you see the ants that they're really gathering. They're planning a lot of things ahead, and seeing as Charlotte Pooh can also grant people power and stuff like that. He's like, okay, you made the right choice in this, actually. So that's also kind of nice to see too. So yeah, but I'm done. Leave a comment below and tell me what you think of this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter. Like this review and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more Hunter x Hunter reviews from me. So it's been the Breakmaster, and until then, people, break out.